Be strong enough to be gentle.
This is voice actor Peter Cullen quoting his brother Larry. This was the advice Larry gave Peter when he went to audition for a certain alien robot daddy. It's safe to say that the advice worked, as Peter would get hired to do the voice of Einhide. Oh, and he also got the role of Optimus Prime.
Autobots, roll out.
When I first started receiving comments asking to do a video on Optimus Prime and his masculinity, I admit my first thought was, really, Optimus Prime? How could a cartoon robot used to advertise toys for children be any kind of role model? In my Blue Boy Scouts and masculinity video, I mention how characters like Superman and Captain America are strong masculine role models, and that their masculinity comes from their unrivaled optimism and hope. Despite being blue and optimistic, Optimus isn't mentioned in this video simply because I had a very basic understanding of who he was. My limited knowledge comes from watching the Michael Bay movies as a child. I knew that Optimus Prime was the leader of the good guys, and Megatron was the leader of the bad guys. I also knew that seeing Megan Fox's character made me tingle inside. But having done a bit more research for this video, I've come to the conclusion that Optimus Prime is indeed a Boy Scout type character. He is very much a gentle giant. Despite being one of the strongest Transformers, he has a softness to him. The one word that would describe him perfectly would be compassionate, which is so interesting because when we think of robots, we think of these heartless, lifeless, monotone things. But Optimus Prime subverts these expectations of what a cartoon robot can be by being this strong, fatherly figure who cherishes life. I suppose there's more to this alien robot than meets the eye. Before we continue, I just want to say hi, my name is Imran and I make videos on media and masculinity. If you like these sort of videos, then please subscribe and like the video, as it really helps the channel out. Thank you. We are first introduced to the character of Optimus Prime in the 1980s Transformers cartoon.
Transformers.
The show was simply created to sell toys, but the show quickly became more than just a commercial. Optimus Prime became the heart of the franchise. He was beloved for being a strong, fatherly figure to the characters in the show and even the children who watched it. Throughout the show, he would spout out the most fatherly wisdom to the other characters, Autobots and humans alike.
Hang on to your dreams, Chip. The future is built on dreams. Hang on.
The show does an incredible job at showing why Optimus Prime is a kind-hearted leader, but he also didn't shy away from showing his physical strength.
You'll have enough to conquer you.
Due to how beloved Optimus Prime was, there was a decision made in the 1986 Transformers movie that proved to be incredibly controversial. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. The decision was to kill off Optimus Prime as well as several other characters from the cartoon. The higher-ups pushed for the death of Optimus and other characters because they wanted to introduce a new toy line with new characters. The movie was intended to be a reset for the franchise. But kids were traumatized by the death of Optimus Prime. They were crying in the cinemas as their hero, their father figure, was killed in front of them in the first 20 minutes of the movie. What a bold choice that was. The death of this iconic figure was met with intense backlash, which is why by the end of the third season of the cartoon, writers chose to bring back Optimus from the dead. The higher-ups realized that the absence of the fatherly Optimus left a big hole in the franchise. Also the fact that kids weren't buying the new toys.
Oh, this is real. I'm back, and now so are you.
The 2023 Skybound Transformers comics really highlights Optimus's compassionate side. We consistently see how much he cares for others, almost to a fault. During a battle against the Decepticons, Optimus takes a moment to mourn the death of his fallen comrades mid-battle. Starscream makes fun of him for mourning a supposedly weak Autobot in Bumblebee. But for Optimus, physical strength isn't a direct indicator of one's character. He has respect for all sentient life. In the comic, Optimus first comes into contact with humans during a battle against Starscream, and his first response is to yell, "Get behind me." Him being a protector is so ingrained into him that he even defends a species he's never met before. There's also the famous panels of him accidentally stepping on a deer and killing it. He apologizes to the dead deer and has to be comforted by a human character named Spike. With how soft-hearted he is, we almost forget that he is capable of so much violence. In a battle against the Decepticons, he literally rips off his arm and uses it as a weapon. The same Optimus who's capable of horrific acts of brutality against the Decepticons also chooses to transform into a car just to make a sick child's day, despite being injured from battle. This brutal side of Optimus is best seen in the Michael Bay Transformers movies. These movies really highlight how destructive Optimus can be. A lot of people weren't too happy with this characterization of Optimus, as it was seen as too violent.
No, Optimus!
Yeah, he was very violent. As entertaining as the Michael Bay movies were, his characterization of Optimus has been heavily criticized for focusing too much on the ferocity of Optimus. Yes, Optimus is incredibly powerful, but there's more to him than his physicality. I believe this take is an attempt to make him appear as a traditional masculine leader. After all, the more physically strong you are, the more masculine you are, right? Well, sort of. Although I do agree that physical strength is important to masculinity, so are traits like compassion. Optimus isn't a great leader just because he's the strongest. He's a great leader because he cares for his comrades. Kids were literally crying in the cinemas when they saw Optimus die in 1986. They wouldn't have had that same reaction if Optimus was just known for being a violent warrior. Optimus is a role model and a father figure. The fact that a fictional robot alien can prove to be a strong masculine leader that people genuinely look up to shows us that maybe there's more to masculinity than meets the eye.